many Nigerians who live in Finland have confirmed that he is a practicing lawyer in Finland. He understands the rudimentaries of the legal practices and the laws of Finland, which might also help him in his present case he has being tried or whatever following his arrest. So he is in a good position.
It is quite unfortunate that you guys cannot learn. So you are just codedly waiting to know if it is true. You guys shall be fooled. You guys shall be televised. They have brainwashed you guys and you fall for it. Just like that. I don't know why the propaganda always find a way to trade faster than the real truths. Please, without wasting much of your time, because I'm not here for talking too much. I'm only here bringing the facts. I'm only here bringing the facts. Come, let's hear this gospel truth so that you will know what to believe. So that you will not stop jumping here and here. Consulting interviews for all these content medias without knowing the facts before you jump in. Come and know the facts and know the truth so that the truth will set you free. So that you too will get yourself at rest. Don't follow them and celebrate over nothing. Don't celebrate yet. Don't celebrate yet. What is coming to Nigeria, what is coming to hit Nigeria is going to hit them hard. And they're going to learn. They're going to learn in a hard way. This is the only channel where you can find out the real truths around the globe, which is global love. That is only where you can see the real truth, gospel truth. So as I'm bringing it here on food, come and hear it by yourself. Then you know what you will be celebrating. Let's watch.
In Finland, he is a recognized government official in Finland. That was why, if you go to his bio on Wikipedia, everywhere, you see that his address as a Finnish politician. Number 8, most of the lawyers in the judiciary of Finland, he has a lot of friends because he has practiced law in Finland for a long time, and he has a lot of people who are his classmates. That's what some Nigerians who are living in Finland also confirmed. So he is a government person. He's seen as a government official. Wife, who is Finnish, I was also made to understand that if the wife and the children go to the Finnish parliament, they can make a case for him. Number 9, he is an indigene of Ebonyi State. He is an indigene of Ebonyi State in southeast Nigeria. While number 10 is that Simon Ekpa is social media savvy. He knows how to use the social media effectively, and he has used it effectively to do his campaign. These are some of the top 10 information that could be of use to anybody who is inquisitive, who is asking questions. Who is this Simon Ekpa that is trending following his arrest by the Finnish government over alleged terrorism, incitement, or whatever? That's about him. And before now, many people have also heard about him, seen him on social media. Okay, so he's not a new face, but there are many people who don't know who he is. That is true. You have heard about somebody, but you don't know much about him. You only see him on social media talk about his agitation for Biafra, and you know he is the one that's they describe as the prime minister of Biafra government in exile, and he has been very vocal about his agitation for Biafra. And since Nnamdi Kanu the detained leader of indigenous people of Biafra had been in detention. He had been the one that people have been talking about. He had been the one saying some of the things that Nnamdi Kanu used to say before. Of course, there are certain divergences. You have had the lawyer of Nnamdi Kanu say that Nnamdi Kanu does not want to sit at home anymore. It is been alleged that Ekpa still supports sit at home and all that. These are some of the things you have to know about him. But we know that as his case develops, we'll have to talk more about himself and about the issues or any allegation that will come up against him. Thank you for watching.
I can guarantee you that is never going to happen. Did we not know in the case of Nnamdi Kanu? Nnamdi Kanu was doing his own thing. The British government never shipped him to Nigeria. He went to Kenya on his own, and unfortunately, they picked him up from there. But for the British government, would they have done that? No. If Simon Ekpa is silly enough to travel to Nigeria, they will take him, or travel to any African country or any lawless country in Africa. They will pick him up from there. But as long as he remains in Finland, there's nothing that will happen to him. You might lock him up for 3 days, couple of days. This is not the first time he's been arrested anyway. He's been arrested before and he was released. So Nigerian government need to prove that this guy is an active participant in what they are accusing him of doing. And Nigerian state is not even coming out to say they are behind it anyway. So Simon Ekpa could have done something else in Finland. So please stop celebrating nonsense, because there's nothing that will bring him to Nigeria. This is why when I see people on social media saying things that they don't understand, I always laugh. You think the Western country are like the lawless of Africa, whereby you can just pick another citizen somewhere, put him on the plane and fly him over. It is impossible. It's the court, it's international law. These guys will not be deported to Nigeria, will not be shipped back to Nigeria to come and face injustice that have no justice. If you don't understand, nobody respects Nigeria that will have a justice system. We don't have any judiciary system. We don't have a justice system in the country. So it is impossible for any country to release their citizen for you because you accuse them of whichever crime. He based in Finland, okay? If there's any atrocity that is committed there, then you can present your case. But I don't even think Finland will release him to Nigeria. They're not going to do that. So we should stop celebrating nonsense. For me, I am personally not a fan of Simon Ekpa. I'm not a fan of him. I think he's completely...
I speak as a professional, and secondly, I speak as a Nigerian. Nothing more, nothing less. Professionally speaking, the Finnish authorities have done their due diligence and they have reasonable grounds to arrest Mr. Simon Ekpa. And in that arrest, they followed due diligence to now charge him based on the information we are getting. Obviously, we still have a lot of work to do for clarifications, to authenticate all these informations. Now, with that due diligence done, it's now meant for the law court in Finland to now look into the request by the Chief of Defense Staff to extradite Simon Ekpa to Nigeria. Professionally speaking, the chances are possible to extradite Simon Ekpa to Nigeria. However, in my opinion, it's almost impossible, though it's not 100% impossible, because one, there is no extradition treaty between Finland and Nigeria. Number two, the Finnish authorities have every right to take him to court to answer to the charges against him, and that is perfect, that is due diligence. And afterwards, don't forget the CJEU, the Criminal Justice of the European Union, also have a right under the European human rights to also test if he's suitable to be extradited to Nigeria based on one, the charges against him, and number two, the fundamentals, because he has to defend himself in a court of law. You cannot just bring charges without him answering in response to the reasons why A, he's inciting violence, to the fundamentals why he thinks there's a reason for him to request for self-determination for the people of Biafra. The Criminal Court of Justice of the European Union has to check if they believe in self-determination. They have to check if they believe in human rights abuses, because bringing that man to Nigeria is a great idea, but I'm not sure that the Chief of Defense Staff should go home and relax and sleep, because they have to consider the human rights records in Nigeria as a country. Obviously, we are all Nigerians. We know our human rights records. There is nothing to boast about. And in instances like people that have disappeared in Nigeria, off my head, Daddy Yatta is still being looked for. Nobody has seen him for years. The people that participated in the so-called NSAS protest, many of them, after the panel, no human rights justice for them. The people that were involved in the End Bad Governance protest, no human rights for them. Even last week, we saw the human abuse of a couple by an army general. Up to today, we are still hearing. Or about politicians who believe they can buy the justice system in Nigeria. Or politicians who believe they can buy vehicles, build houses for justices. So obviously, we have to understand that Simon Ekpa has to answer to his charges against him. I think that's due diligence to do, and I support that. However, we have to also ask ourselves, can the Finnish authorities, if they want to copy what we do in Nigeria, example, Simon Ekpa is a politician in Finland today. He joined politics in 2017 and is a member of the National Coalition Party, the ruling party in Finland today. They won their national elections in February this year, and they have a president of the country. Simon Ekpa also served the country as an army officer. Now, if you look at these human rights records in Nigeria, what Nigerian politicians have done about justice in Nigeria, do you think the National Coalition Party of Finland will feel comfortable to extradite Simon Ekpa to Nigeria based on zero extraditory treaty between Nigeria and Finland and based on human rights of Nigeria in general? So I think the right thing has been done. Okay. But in conclusion, sir, I think Nigeria also has to copy from Finland to know that due diligence matters. Due diligence pays, not where people can buy justices.